We're going to get to it after a quick word from FanDuel. Guys, August 26th, mark it on your calendars. It's officially FanDuel Futures Day, a brand new holiday for football fans who live for bold predictions and preseason hunches. For that 24-hour day, August 26th, FanDuel is giving you deals on NFL preseason predictions. So whether you're calling for the MVP, eyeing a long shot division winner, or ready to crown your Super Bowl champ before Week 1 even kicks off, this is your moment. So you want to take a flyer on Lamar Jackson to get an MVP shot, Mahomes taking it back, August 26th on FanDuel is the place to do it. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your future bets now because Futures Day is a one-day and one-day only special. FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of UCSS. FanDuel, play your game. So the question I wanted to ask is, based off how Shedeur played on Friday against the Panthers and because we didn't see any of the other quarterbacks in the quarterback battle, would that be enough for Sanders to jump Gabriel on the depth chart? How would you, if you were Kevin Stefanski, handle the quarterback rep division this week? We got early practice today, so we actually did get a little inside look at how Stefanski wouldn't give any actual answers when asked who's going to start, how they're going to divvy up reps. He said the joint practices against Philadelphia, those reps will go mostly to the starters for Week 1. And the guys who aren't starters in Week 1 will play more in the actual preseason game. But as far as today's order of quarterback reps go, this is from Daniel Oyefusi of ESPN Cleveland, who was out there. He said, quote, "That's it for Browns training camp practice number 12. One of the better days collectively from the quarterbacks. Flacco took every first-team rep on 11 on 11s. Gabriel and Sanders alternated reps with the 2s and the 3s. Pickett did participate in 7 on 7s, did not do 11 on 11s, but worked with the starters in those 7 on 7 drills again." So this is the first time, really, G, that we have seen, I don't want to call it a significant change because the guy running mostly with the ones hasn't changed, but it does seem, according to all reports from the people out there, Sean Dunnigan also texted us, Jay, and let us know that Shedeur went ahead of Gabriel in certain 11 on 11 situations, to where it wasn't always Gabriel first and then Sanders. It seemed like a pretty even mix between those two today. Is that how you would have handled it if you were Kevin Stefanski?
Yup, and people might be surprised to it. Because here's what I said from Jump Street. I said what Shedeur Sanders is, he put that pressure on everybody. He really made it a competition. Y'all said it was a competition. They put him out there. He was throwing the trash cans the week before, throwing the support staff. People was mad because he wasn't getting no reps with the ones. But I was like, listen, nah, bro. If it's a competition, I want to see you go out there with 10 other hungry dogs and cook. He did that. So now, if it's a competition and I'm going to go by the letter of the law that you stated, I want to see Dillon Gabriel. I want to see the supercomputer at work. I want to see it. I want to see that strong arm. I want to see me turn my phone off because I don't got no money for y'all today. But
that's a rookie mistake.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Listen,
undrafted free agents.
Steve gonna take some reps away. Steve, I willfully give up some reps tomorrow.
Remember the movie Friday Night Lights? Back on running back couldn't find his helmet.
Yes, exactly. Hey,
there you go.
Remember when the credit someone called asking for your credit report?
Oh yeah. He was like, oh yeah, they wanted some. That was a crazy.
He took
scene.
it live on air.
I took it live on air. He was like, yeah,
one of the greatest moments.
You want to
in
do that
UCSS
payment?
history.
Yeah, I paid y'all off.
I was working at the clerk of course. I was watching that, and then my boss walked past like, "Can you put your phone away?"
But I will say, I want to see what Dillon got, because here's the thing. There's a reason why that competition looked the way it do in practice today. When somebody else step up and go first, he put Jackson Dart, Tyler Shook, everybody. Cam Ward came out looking like he's like, oh, I'm tired of hearing about this 12 over there in Cleveland. Listen, I'm the number 1 pick. I need to throw me some footballs and look like I'm competent. Everybody got to step their game up. Now what I want to see Dillon Gabriel get his shot.
Yes.
I want to see what he can do. And then we're gonna go back like it's the episode of the Cosby's challenge.
Hey, so to answer Mike's question, if this is how I would have done it, I have no problem with them splitting, but Shedeur would have went ahead of Dillon Gabriel for me. I don't know if it was like that all the time, because I just go back to what Tyvis said. When you're in the tub, you can't get in the club. And the fact that he was in the tub while Shedeur was out there in the club balling, then that to me warrants, okay, when we get back out here Monday,
If all things are equal, healthy guy gets the nod.
healthy guy gets the
Always,
nod. So
always.
to me, he would have went ahead of Dillon. I have no problem with them sharing the rep share, but if I was Kevin Stefanski, I would have had Shedeur ahead of him. I'm with G. I'm with you. I want to see Dillon go out there and get his opportunity to show what he can do. I've said this before. Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski have identified him as their guy. He was drafted with a top 100 pick. So it's up to Dillon Gabriel to go out there and prove that they were right with drafting him with a pick that high. Shedeur Sanders being able to get the opportunity to go first, and then you look at all the circumstances that surrounded it, that's a lot of pressure on Dillon Gabriel, on Kenny Pickett, or anybody else for that matter, not named Joe Flacco, because here it is, he was getting limited reps. He finds out the week that, in this week that he's going to be the starting quarterback. You know that Carolina is going to play their starters even for a little bit, and this is a big unknown of how he's going to go out there and produce. And here it is, he goes out here and he balls out. Like, that's a lot of pressure. So you got to go out there if you Dillon and try to at least match what he did.
Here's the best part of what happened Friday night. It's not about one guy. It's not. A lot of people were like, great for Shedeur. Great for him. Great for the Browns, and here's why. We had talked about different scenarios that could possibly come up. Mm-hmm. One of them was Gabriel's not him and Shedeur's not him. That's a nightmare, okay? That's a nightmare because now you know that even before the season starts, you are still looking for your quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay? Now, I don't know that we're going to have the answers by week one. In fact, let me go definitively on record. We will not. Go back and look. We were talking about DTR's preseason play and how he was a preseason Super Bowl winner.
He was so good they traded Josh Dobbs.
Yeah.
He won the preseason, okay? And right now, he still is the worst quarterback ever to play in the NFL if you go by touchdown to interception ratio.
That's wild.
He's thrown 1 touchdown, 10 picks. Now, he was the champion of the preseason. So we always have to keep that in mind. You can look great in the preseason. It's happened many times, and you can fall flat on your face. Mm-hmm. But one of the scenarios was neither one of them looks good in the preseason, and we know by week one we don't really have to see them because we've seen enough to know they're not him. What hasn't happened yet is no one has eliminated themselves.
Facts.
There are rookie quarterbacks. There was a 7th rounder that was like 0 for 5 with 3 picks or something. I don't even know who it was. I looked at all the rookie grades for the rookie quarterbacks.
I watched a lot of football.
And I'm like, how do you throw 3 interceptions in your first game?
Who was the guy mailman from Georgia?
Stetson Bennett.
Stetson Bennett played. I think he came in and played with the Rams. He looked through like 5 picks.
No, he had 2 touchdowns, 1 pick.
No. I'm talking about his debut like last year.
Last year.
Here's all of the rookies that played. And they ranked them, CBS did this, they ranked them in order of performance. Jackson Dart was 1, Shedeur Sanders was 2. This dude, Graham Mertz, for the Texans.
He was so bad in college.
He threw 3 picks. Like,
he played for Wisconsin and Florida.
He was a 6th round draft pick. Now, this is a guy who you can probably say, yeah, probably not it.
No.
Probably not it. 3 picks, no touchdowns. He had 27 yards passing. My God. Then I saw this tweet from this guy in CBS, embedded it in the article. Graham Mertz has no business in the NFL, even in the 4th quarter of a preseason game. His numbers were equally atrocious. What you can figure out is, you can't figure out if he's the guy, but sometimes you can figure out, no, he's not.
Yes.
And so here's the best thing that happened Friday night. We know that the guy that the Browns had last on their depth chart, we know that their number 4 stepped in and played very good football. Now, if their judging is right of who they have, that means they have 3 quarterbacks on their roster that are better than that.
Yeah.
Team win. Team win for the Cleveland Browns. Because you don't win in the NFL without a good quarterback. What if you have 3 good quarterbacks? What if they have a scenario here? And that's why Dillon Gabriel, I can't wait to see what he does. I hope he's healthy. I hope he gets good reps in the
he
joints.
Better be healthy.
And I hope he plays the first half. Give him the whole first half. I want to see, and then here's the other thing too. We know Flacco's sitting there and he's the likely starter. We know he's the guy that with his hands firmly on the wheel. But the other thing we don't know about is Kenny Pickett. There was all this talk that Kenny Pickett was one before he got hurt. So the good news here is, if this is what 4 looks like, all of a sudden we have our quarterback room is filled with riches.
This is
it's scary. Let's get it on.
This is scary hours for Kenny Pickett. Let me tell you why. It's getting spooky outside. It's getting real late quick. Because if your assessment is correct, and Dillon Gabriel comes out against the world champion Philadelphia Eagles, and he plays the first half, and he's playing against the ones, and he balls out, I don't need to see nothing from Kenny Pickett.
Well, they're going to still look at him. I mean, he was one on their depth
I do
chart.
agree with Gito. I got 2 rookies that I just drafted on rookie deals.
So here's what you're saying. You walk into the convenience store, you say, give me 4 lottery tickets. You scratch one, it's 10,000. You're going to throw one of the other ones away?
No. You scratch one, it was 10,000. The second one was 15,000.
Okay, so you're going to throw the third one away?
No, I might keep that for later on. I'm gonna tuck that away, and I'm.
I want to see what I want to see. Here's the thing. Somebody's calling him Cleveland Kenny, and I go, what's that supposed to mean? And he goes, well, you're going off Pittsburgh Pickett. I'm going to judge him off Cleveland Kenny, because the whole idea here is, if it was true that Canada was the worst offensive coordinator in the history of offensive coordinators, and if you go ask Pittsburgh Steelers fans, they'll tell you that he was. Everybody's saying you need to bulk erase your mind on what Kenny Pickett was in Pittsburgh, because that's not who he is. Okay, well, Kevin Stefanski brought him in first. He was the first guy here. Kevin Stefanski's looking at him and saying, I can make him Cleveland Kenny. Hey. I can do something with this. So the last thing you're going to do, man, is not give him a fair and equal shot. Give him a half. He'll play this preseason.
Zay, you're not wrong, but bro, here's the problem.
I'm not going to not look at it.
But you're not wrong. But we three of us know this is the reality. It's August 11th.
Yeah,
like.
But we've got 2 preseason games
I get
left.
it, but it just seems like we are getting, like you just said, we are getting close. It's getting late. We're getting closer. You got to start stabilizing.
So what's the alternative? Like if Dillon goes out, balls out, you release him?
I don't. This is what happened when you got 5 or 6 quarterbacks in cap.
Well, realistically, there's 4.
If you got 2,
and they could keep all 4.
It just seems like he the odd man now.
Herm Edwards.
It just seems like the situation has changed, and it just seems like
well, let me ask you this:
he's the odd man.
What
now.
if Pickett had played Friday in place of Sanders and balled out? Would you then be saying we don't need to see Sanders?
No, because Andrew Berry draft. And I get it, he traded for him, but like Andrew Berry, we've seen over his tenure. His draft picks are going to get an opportunity to show what they can do. I don't think Kenny Pickett plan would have changed anything with the rookies at all, because he drafted those dudes.
Well, he signed Pickett, was his first quarterback in camp.
I hear that.
You got to see what you have there.
I just feel like the situation's changed.
No, I disagree 100%.
Let me give y'all an analogy.
You're going to see what you have in this guy.
Let me give you an analogy. Listen, man, once upon a time, G. Bush was married and I wasn't no more. I got on this internet. I was like, listen, this is great. I was like, yo, you set up these first dates, so you got about 5 first dates you're going on. Mm-hmm. Then some of them make them to the second date, right? Then some of them make it to the third date. Now, this is very expensive, so you shouldn't try this at home. But at some point in time,
you pay for all the dates.
You got to pay for all of them,
Come
bro.
on, man.
They know who you is, bro. Okay. So at some point in time, you going through these first dates, you realizing, well, I didn't already move past this one, and then I got the second dates over here. And then I'm like, man, by the time you get to the 4th date, people is not trying to hear what you're talking about. They're like, we together or not. But here's the thing. Sometimes when you meet somebody on that first date, you just know. And you're like, oh, listen, them on the second date, then the third date, I got to call them and let them know.
So you don't even give?
No.
So here's what's wrong with that analogy. The 5 first dates that you set up originally. Mm-hmm. Are you talking about you're going to go on 1 date and then cancel 2, 3?
No, I'm saying
you're going to go on a first date with all of them, right?
I'm saying some people have already made it past the first date. Some is on the 3rd date.
Some
people have made it to the second.
But he's advocating you're not even getting the first date.
Well, here's the.
I like you enough that you're not getting the first date.
No, I like somebody else so much that I ain't got no time to be worried about you.
So then you would cancel. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So if you went on date number 1 with girl number 1, You would cancel dates 1 with 2, 3, 4, and 5. You just call them up and say, I got my girl?
No, here's the thing.
He said if I like her that
if
much.
I like her that much.
No, you gotta like her that much. You gotta love her that much.
Well, there it is. Well, that's the thing about
You
time.
gotta know there's no one that can be better than her.
There was time where you get to a point. Now listen, that was game 1. Now if you get, so you went on the second date. You on with Dillon Gabriel on his first day, right? So you're looking around, you say, listen, I picked him. I went on the dating app and said, I want Shedeur.
That was the first date you set up.
And I went Dillon. But draft is different from free agent.
Not really.
You're attached to that.
I mean, for the Cleveland Browns, the moves are the moves.
You take them in
You
the third.
bring them in because we didn't have draft picks for so many years.
That's why
at the
they're
top
important.
of the draft. You better hit on your free agents.
You covet these picks. You know Andrew Berry covets
Think
them.
about this. Michael Woods was one of the players this year that was released due to an injury designation. He's
Right.
been hurt every year.
Yeah.
He's been on this
At
roster
some
every
point.
year. That's an Andrew Berry draft pick.
Yeah.
Andrew Berry is not going – he's vested in his draft picks. I don't think
Yeah,
he's
but
as
you are your
vested.
free agents too. Like you don't bring in
I-
free agents. He was the
I don't think he's
first quarterback
as
in the
vested.
room, guys. You can't under any circumstance. You cannot give Kenny Pickett a look. You can't not give him a look.
Here's what's going.
You can't. He's going to get looks.
Let me ask you this.
He was one.
So let me ask you this. Here's the way I think it's going to pop off. I think Dillon Gabriel going to get some first team reps and he may play at half. Kenny Pickett not going to play. Joe Flacco not going to play.
Oh, I disagree with that. If he's
So
healthy,
you,
he's
so you
playing.
think they're going to get the joint practice reps then, the majority of them?
I don't think Kenny going to play either.
I think
Kenny,
Flacco's going
it comes down to this with Kenny. Can he play? That's it.
If
he's healthy, he is playing.
I don't know if he's going to be healthy. I don't know.
That's a different issue.
But
if he's not, you're certainly not going to cut him before the third
here's the thing.
preseason game.
Listen, that's why I told you when you said.
No way.
You told Kenny, you said, no, Kenny, you good. I said, don't you listen to Jay Crawford. You might want to get your hamstring
I
back out
still
there.
think he's good. I'm not changing my tune. I still think Kenny is good. He is in good standing with the Browns.
Until when?
Until he plays poorly.
Okay, hold on. I think
They're not going to not play him and cut him. They're not going to do that.
If Dillon Gabriel comes out here this first half and he plays well,
Yes.
and then they run Shedeur back in the second half,
Yes.
and he
Well,
cooks,
Yeah.
it's done.
So you cut him before the third preseason game?
No, they're gonna have to figure out somewhere to go.
They gonna have to do something.
Guys, now you've lost your mind.
No, I'm just saying. I don't because
Here's what the talk is, and this is scary to me because, and I've asked people that know this. I'm talking roster construction people that tell me this. My school of thought is you cannot carry 4 quarterbacks. Every time I tell someone that's experienced in this league, they say, well, sure you can.
You think the Eagles?
Sure you can. And I'm told by somebody that we all know and trust that that's likely what's going to happen.
You think the Eagles is good?
Yeah.
You think the Eagles good?
The Super Bowl champs.
If Dillon Gabriel come out here or Shedeur Sanders, whatever's first, and they cook.
You're cutting Kenny
I'm just what I'm saying is if they cook, that is to me, that puts you at a position where Dillon didn't even play the whole preseason yet. He been hurt.
Well, this was one game he's missed.
I'm just saying. It's the
He's
Eagles.
the whole season. He's missed the whole season.
Hey, that's half his life. He only been in the league 4 months.
Hey, I'm with G. The rookies go out there and they split that game up and they both cook against
I
Philly.
just saw
You guys know enough about this.
Yeah, but Jay,
this is where we get. This is where Cleveland gets battered. Right here. I'm gonna give you an example.
How?
This is why sometimes we get battered. Because you saw the meme about the Browns are going to retire Shedeur's number. That is a poke at us. It's not a poke at Shedeur Sanders.
But we talk about Dillon
That's
Gabriel.
a poke at us.
We
No, I
talk about
know.
Dillon.
But this is what I'm trying to explain to you why nationally we get battered when we say things like this.
I don't care about
We
them
don't
nationally.
need to look at a 3-year pro because our rookie looked good in one preseason game. That's nonsense. You know it is.
I don't think it is.
know it is.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is. This is why I don't think it is, right? Kenny right now is dealing with a soft tissue injury. There's no guarantee that Kenny is going to be healthy.
Kenny's practicing today. You know that.
And 708, I know that.
Okay,
707s, no
right.
11 on 11s,
That's
individuals
okay.
and 707s.
That's okay.
If that continues to be the case, that tells me that the hamstring is something that's an issue. So let's say, like, hypothetically.
Even if it is, you're
just hear me out. Hypothetically, if it's an issue, right, as we getting closer and closer to the regular season, some things stabilize themselves without it being a thing. These are the breaks. This the NFL. If you get hurt, sometimes you don't get an opportunity to show what you can do because you got hurt. Yeah,
I
Kenny was the
agree
first
with that.
quarterback here.
Luke Floria, I agree with that. You're an undrafted free agent.
But he was traded for what, like DTR and
That-
the 5?
but
But it's not even like the capital was all
Right.
right.
Did we just get done talking about how bad DTR was?
Yes,
and they
like,
traded
But it
him
was
for
the first move they made. Like, they didn't even bring in Joe Flacco until after they brought in Kenny Pickett. So what I'm saying is, this is where we have to go slow. We're talking about, Kenny Pickett was 1 on the depth chart. Everybody agree with that? Jason sat here week after week after week, and he said, I know you guys might not like it, but Kenny Pickett is
So if
number
he healthy,
1
you think
on
he
the
still
depth
won?
chart. When the number 1 quarterback on your team suffers a hamstring strain that doesn't keep, he's practicing, you're going to be cautious with it because he's your number 1. But then you have your rookie quarterback plays good for 2.5 quarters, whatever he played. Now you're already thinking about divorcing yourself from a guy who's got experience in the league.
We're saying this week going forward that
I'm
if
not
both
even-
the rookies play well this week, then the conversation is different.
So
What you're
2
saying
good
is-
rookie preseason
so-
games and you're going to cut a
So
veteran.
Jay, do you believe that if he's fully healthy, he goes back to QB1?
I don't know what they're going to do. I really don't, in terms of, because I think their depth chart, by the way, has not looked like what I think it should look like. I thought Joe Flacco is the best quarterback on this roster. I don't care how hard you squint and try to convince yourself otherwise. Joe Flacco's better than Kenny Pickett. In my rankings, I have always said Flacco, and then Jason will sit there and say, well, they're not trying to win games. Well, now that's a different story.
It is. I agree
If
with
you're
that.
trying to figure out, if the sole mission of this season is to figure out if either of these 2 rookies are the guy, then all bets are off. And quite frankly, logic won't apply to a lot of these discussions that we're having. Because normally, everything is rooted in winning. And somehow we've gotten to a place in Cleveland where that's not the case anymore. I don't like that.
That's one person's opinion. Here's what I'm going to say.
But don't you feel like it's not just Jason, that a lot of other people, when they come on this show, national guests, they go, oh, well, the Browns aren't trying to win this year.
Well, here's the thing, man.
Like, I don't want to hear that talk. I don't want any wasted seasons.
Like
in my
that,
life.
you are 100% in agreement with. I don't want to hear it, and I don't believe that the Cleveland Browns is approaching this season that way.
I hope not.
And I think,
but those that tell me they are.
One of the things that you start to get to is I've always said it. What happens on this dang on field matters. It ain't about what you thought in your head or what you think the Browns are doing 5 to 10 years from now. What I'm looking at and evaluating is what you do on that practice field, what you do in these game reps, what you do when you get the opportunity.
Right.
If Shedeur Sanders is continually putting tape out like that, here's the problem. When people say, I don't want the circus to come to town, what they mean is, I don't want the accountability. Because circus ain't got nothing to do with it. When you play well, people take notice. Then people take notice and say, hey, that guy can play. Then they say, oh, we're going to hold you accountable. If we look at other people and they're not as good, we're going to say, why aren't you playing that guy over here? People say that's a circus. No, that's accountability. This is the way the game works. So now people see he can play. If he goes out 2 weeks in a row against one of the best teams in the game, in a second preseason game.
Does it matter what personnel play for Philly? Like, if he goes out and balls out against Philly's twos.
Hey, Philly's twos is better than the wild ones.
No,
Philly's defensive line, Philly twos defensive line, they starters elsewhere.
Philly's secondary is
what was Philly's score in their opener?
I don't know.
In the preseason?
They won. They scored a lot of points.
At least to me, at least in the trenches, they defensive line, a lot of they twos are starters on
I'm
other
gonna tell you
teams.
what.
Yeah, I want to see. The hypotheticals don't work well for me. Here's what I need to see. I need to see all these guys, except for Joe Flacco. I don't need to see Joe Flacco in a preseason game. You learn nothing from that. What I need to learn is if Shedeur Sanders can look that good in his rookie game in the Kevin Stefanski offense, I damn well am going to see what Kenny Pickett can look like. I'm sorry, guys. I mean, I don't know why anybody wants to wave a white flag on any of these quarterbacks. They're lottery tickets. Remember? Bring them all in. It's a competition. I got to see more,
can I say
more.
I have never been a believer in Kenny Pickett as a lottery
I haven't
ticket,
either.
As
I haven't
a viable quarterback.
I have not either.
I asked every single person, whether it was Mary Kay, whether it was Jason, I said, Jay, what are you seeing? What is
Aditi talks about him like he
I'm trying to figure out which film work he was walking on water.
I
where
agree.
he was tap dancing on people.
I said that when he was drafted. Why did they draft him in the first round?
I tried.
But here's what we have to see.
I'll look at him.
I have to see him in Kevin Stefanski's offense.
Get that hamstring together, dog. You might want to come.
We'll end it with this, G.
So I forgot what did Sean say that did he just work 7-7s?
Pickett is doing 7-on-7s.
Okay.
Stefanski said he's progressing nicely, not ready for 11-on-11s yet. That may change by Wednesday for joint practice. But as of right now, Kevin Stefanski
and quite
said,
frankly, because to me all preseason games are not created equal because of the way teams use their starters and not use their starters. I am perfectly fine with him sitting on the sideline, not doing anything this week in the joints or in the game against Philly. But here's what I am going to do. Game number 3, it's all you.
Oh, you
Hey,
Yeah.
I can't believe you.
What?
Wait, okay.
Don't do that.
No.
Kitty,
Hell no.
Don't do that.
What, you gonna cut him?
No. Jay, so this is you, bro. So you telling me that if he does nothing the rest of practice,
He better-
he don't play in this game, right?
Yeah.
You got one game left.
Yes.
So most of that is Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco's not playing.
Joe gonna play game 3.
Joe's not playing in game 3.
I think Joe gonna play game 3.
I'm told Joe Flacco's not playing
I think
this
Joe
preseason.
gonna walk in there like, hey, Kev, you got me, you know what.
Okay, so I don't think, first of all, it hasn't been decided, but
Okay.
this is what I was told. I'll fall down if Joe Flacco takes a preseason snap. That's what I was told.
I think Joe gonna cuss Kevin out if he don't get none.
And here's the thing, even if he does, you play him in there for one quarter, let him get up. But Joe's fine. Joe, I don't need to see Joe Flacco. I know what Joe Flacco
give
is.
another hypothetical?
Here's what I need to see, guys.
You need to see Kitty.
I need to see Dillon.
But what if
And I need to see more of
I ain't
Shedeur.
worried about seeing Dillon and Shedeur, but what if it becomes a situation to where Kenny don't get healthy enough to
You going
play
to
a
push him
game?
out there before he's ready?
No, but what if he don't get ready?
So then you're going to cut him before game 3.
What if he don't get ready?
I'm gonna
Listen,
say,
if he doesn't get ready, that's a totally different argument.
Here's what I'm going to say,
Under
Earl.
no
I'll
circumstances
speak for
anybody
him.
said he's not going to be ready.
Are we going to cut him? Sure as hell we'll cut him. Yes.
God, I'm sorry.
Peace out.
I'm sorry, Browns fans.
We got the
I
veteran.
really am.
If I got a veteran,
sorry.
if I got the veteran that I already think is better than the veteran that
And I got 2 rookies
and I
that's
got
on
2
sorry.
rookies, yeah, we rolling with that.
Bye, Kenny.
You know who's not getting cut?
God, I'm sorry, Browns fans.
I'm sorry, dog. I told you.
I'm
Hey,
very
we
sorry.
gotta bookmark this show because at the final rosters, us three gonna be
Oh,
like,
this show will be bookmarked. This show will be
I
bookmarked.
can't wait.
Because you guys, I'm not as surprised. Really, I'm more surprised, I think, with G. But I know you're the king of knee jerk and you're self-professed. But bro,
I'm just saying the same thing to you. I
I'm
can't
looking at you
believe
like no. What you're advocating here is
he better get healthy.
taking a 2-year starter in the NFL with a plus touchdown to interception ratio with the worst offensive coordinator, and I don't need to look at him.
I got Joe Flacco. I got 2 promising rookies.
Promising rookies. Now let how many times?
I like that. That was good.
No.
We can't even promise.
Here's why that's awful. Here's why that's awful.
Earl, cookie.
Do you want
I
me
ain't
to
saying I gotta
list the name
stop.
of promising rookies that
For
are sacking groceries right now?
I get it. I was here. I seen it.
It's just
But I
just
think-
too much.
listen.
This is why we take so much heat, guys.
Guys, promising rookies
Holy
is something
cow.
we can at least agree on
Promising
the
rookie.
defensive
No,
side of the
promising rookie is an oxymoron.
I love that.
It's